Welcome to Elixir Pro. My name is Gustavo, and today we're going to be talking about how to build the Spotify interface using Elixir, Phoenix, and LiveView. We're going to learn all of the techniques that I've been using for around 4 years, and especially what I've been using to build LiveView application, split into components, which is going to be straightforward for you to test your application, scaling your apps, and reuse components. Hope you enjoy it, and bye-bye. This is the interface that you are going to build using Elixir, Phoenix, and LiveView. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial because you're going to learn a lot of fantastic techniques with Phoenix and LiveView. So let's go ahead. Our first step, what we're going to do is we got our Elixir app, so I think this is going to be enough for us to move forward. Our first step, we're going to clean all the app before moving forward, because in this case, I'm gonna share with you a couple of strategies. So our first step is going to be, let's clean up here. So we can come over here. I'm going to delete. I will delete the controller as well. We're not going to use controller anymore. We can come over here and say live. Then we can say page live.index and then index as well. I'm not gonna have this a router for now, and now we can come over here and say live page live index.ex def module. We can get some water, and then we can come over here and say use LiveView, and then render signs to start our LiveView page, and then we can say hi. So this was our first step. Let's clean up a little bit more our components. So I can come over here, and then we are going to say black, and then let's say text for now zinc 200, and there you go. And now we can get rid of this header for now, and also we can come over here and save that, get rid of this, because we are going to build a LiveView app without any styling. So sometimes I prefer to use the LiveView style, but for now this is going to be enough. We can say clean up. I like committing and creating steps for us. So for now, I think that's fine. Our next step, what we are going to do is we are going to start defining our layout. So I'm okay for now having the background black for now. I think the text zinc could be something like 50. It's a little bit clear. And now let's start creating our LiveView page. So I will go over here, and I think it's enough for now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add, by default we already have the Tailwind, so I'm using the emit, where on our emit I'm gonna add a side plus a main There you go. We're gonna say aside and main. But one more thing that we will have to do is we need to have a footer with footer text. And let's see how it works. And there you go. So now we have our first definition, how our gonna have our page. And then what we're gonna do is let's start adding a little bit more classes here. So we have our screen. Let's add and make it a little bit different. We're gonna have a flex, and then we can have flex call. I don't know if that's really important because the result will be the same, so I'm not gonna add here, maybe in a future. But right here, what we can do is flex and then flex 1, and our aside we're gonna say W64 for now. Our main just a flex 1 to have more space. So right here, flex 1. And what you are seeing is that now we have a couple more spaces between our application. Just one more thing to ensure what we are doing. So first of all, I'm gonna make this a little bit higher for now. Let's add this guy and background zinc 900, just to make sure that we are moving for the right direction. The padding 6, and then here one more, which is gonna be the page, the padding 6, and our footer. What we're gonna do is background zinc, we can say 900 as well. Border top on the top, border zinc 800, and padding 6. And there you go. Just let me see what else that we can do here. So we got our screen. Probably this will make a lot of difference if you use flex and flex call. Let's see, and there you go. So now we started having our page. I think it would be nicer if I move the page to another desktop. So right here, because I want to make sure that I'm not gonna working on the mobile stuffs here for now. Well, background zinc 800, 900. I guess that let me think. I personally didn't like it, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's see. And what about we add, I prefer for now a border, right? There you go. Same one, border zinc 800. Nice. I think this approach is much better. I can go over here and then change a couple of things if I feel it's important. What we're gonna do now, we need to start creating the aside here. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna have a nav right here, nav with space Y4, and then we're gonna have a link with a text called home. There you go. Let me just format this guy here. As you can see, now we got our text, we got our link. So let me just say something like a class flex item center, because we need more things. The text will be extra small font semi bold, text, zinc 100. But one more thing that we need to be aware here is because we are going to use the icon. So we can say icon will be name. You can say hero home. And then the class will be W5, maybe H5 and W5. And then we can say home. As you can see, we got a link, but let's add a little bit more things. Let's add a gap. And as you can see, now seems to be nicer. What else? We have a couple more options here. What we can do is something like, oops, sorry. Let's duplicate this guy. And what we can do is we only need to change the icon. We can say magnifying glass, and then we can say search, and right here we can say book or library. The icons sometimes will not be the same because things can change, because we don't have most of them using hero icon. Your library, I think it's good for now, and let's see. And there you go. This is what we have. And what we can do now, I'm gonna give you some tips after this class, but because the icon is done, let me just make a couple more updates. So what about if we come over here, having a little bit more margin on the top? So we can say margin top 10. The text we can say small, and the zinc will be 200. And I personally like this way. And what else that we can do? So we got our space. Let me add a little bit more. Let's say 5. Better, big space. What else? So we need to start having another menu. Personally, we have this way. We can make it better. Some of the things that we can do is making this one menu. I'm gonna teach one tip here first. So as you can see, they are always almost the same. So the only difference is the name and the text here. So what we can do, we can come over here and say def mount a socket, and then we can say nav menu options, and then we will have a list of maps. As you can see, it started being a little bit more complicated when I started having this kind of complexity. I like creating the HTML and then moving this HTML to another file. And after that, we can get rid of this, and we can say nav menu options will be this guy with a list, and on this list we will have the icon. Let me just create this guy here. We are going to have the icon, which is going to be hero home, and we're gonna have the text will be home. On the same way, we can have this one. and search as text. And then we have the bookmark. Then you can say your library, and then we can get rid of all of them and say for, and then you can say menu, nav menu options, and then what we're gonna do is let's change this to menu.icon, and right here we could say menu.text. And when we have it, we got the same result, and we split the responsibility to of the HTML. This is one of the strategies that we could do. We can make other things, but anyway, so now we have a smaller HTML. We could create a function component here as well to use on our app, but you're going to learn more strategies, and some of them you're going to learn today. What we can have now, it's a nav, margin top 6, padding top 6. I'm using the image. So the advantage of using the image in LiveView when you install it correctly is that autocomplete, and you can make a fancy menu. You can make a lot of things that it's amazing. Let's check it. So now we have the border on the top. Now we can say border zinc 800, and then flex col, and the gap will be 3, and then we are going to have a link. We're going to add in this way with text small, and then text zinc 400, and then hover, and then we're going to have a hover text zinc 100. And we are going to say that the text will be best songs, and then we can say plus, what about 5, and there you go. So as you could see, we got our menu. Now we got our best songs here, and everything using the image. I hope you like it. Let me just format this code. A new one here. And one more. And now there you go. As you could see, we got almost the same result. Another technique that we could use is, what about 4? Where on my 4, I'm gonna say I. Then we can say 1 to 6. And then we can say something like best songs 20. And then can say I. Then we can get rid of this and make the code cleaner and easier to read. We know that those are mocks information, but it looks nicer. So you've learned a new technique. So you started creating HTML with a couple complexity, and this complexity, as you can see, we reduced to a nav menu. So one more thing that it's interesting to learn is that we started having a component responsibility. Probably sometimes you need to identify when the component is a stateless component or a functional component. In the past, we called this stateless component, but now it's function component. And when it's going to be a live component, I'm going to create a live component with you now, so we can create the aside here. So what we can do is something like aside, and then we can say aside.ex def module, and then let's get rid of this and say live component. Then we can say render assigns, and then what we can do now, we can just copy this code here and paste it. After paste this code, so we know that we need this menu. This menu obviously is not the mount responsibility. We can just copy this guy, maybe cut this guy, come over here and say something like update, where we are going to receive the assigns, and then we can say something like, it's okay, we have this way, but let's use an Elixir syntax. Socket. Then we can get rid of this. And one more thing that we could do is assigns. There you go. So if you feel that it's necessary to create a component or something like replace the HTML, it's so straightforward following this path. So you can just need to create another aside.html.ex, and then you can just copy this guy and split the responsibility between the UI and the LiveView component interaction. And now if you see our screen, we started not having the menu, and at the same time we started not having our aside. And to add here, you can just say live component module will be aside, and then ID will be aside. We must have an ID to our component, and the result is the same, which is fantastic. It's an awesome way to create a live view. I always like adding the ID at the top because sometimes you need more interactions. Testing, it's super nice when you have it. So let's go ahead and move to our main. We're gonna work a little bit more, but now we ensure that our HTML is smaller. And what we're gonna do here, let's add a little bit more things. We can say that flex 1p6. We are gonna add flex items center, and then get 3 with a button with p1 rounded full, flex and items center is a text called menu plus 2. And now we got our div, we got our button here, both buttons, which is nice. And now let's start creating more things. So what we're gonna do is come over here and say background black. Let's readjust this. Let's see what we have. We got text here. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we got the menu, and right here we need an icon on both, and only the icon will be enough, but both here we can ignore saying that the icon will be hero chevron left. Let's get rid of this, and everything that it's 5 can say 6. Here we can say right. What else? As you can see, we started to have ink icon here. Let me just change here to a zinc to make it clear. Background zinc 900. And as you can see, we started having 2 icons here, similar with the Spotify. And what else that we can have here is a text. It's gonna be an H1, font semi bold, text 3XL, margin top 6. We can say made for Elixir Pro. And that's it. Now we are going to start creating a menu as well with more details. And what we can do is you're going to see how powerful is the image here. So what we're going to do is something like grid. We're going to have grid call 3 and gap 4. And then we are going to say that we need more menus. So we're going to say just 1. And this is something that personally, we're going to learn something that it's really interesting. And also at the same time, it is going to be a component. And in this component, we can make it something super interesting. So what we can have here, we need to have an image. So I'm not going to ask you to download image if you want to make this more realistic, but I'm going to get the logo here, SVG. I'm going to copy the relative path. So, and then I'm going to say image, and the source will be this one. I'm just going to get rid of the proof and static, and the alt will be album image. And then we can add a description. You can say strong album Elixir Pro. So if you want to learn more about the components and why I'm thinking this way, you can join to Elixir Pro and learn a little bit more. And then let's just add one button, and then we're going to start creating the CSS. So the button will be 12, 8, 12, and then flex items center, justify center, padding left 1, rounded full, background green 400, and text will be black, and margin left auto, margin right 8. And then on this button, let's just add the hero plus, but not gonna be this one. Not gonna be this one. It's gonna be the play solid, and this is gonna be, I'm gonna add 6 to see how it goes. So as you can see, we started having the menu. One more thing related to this button, it's rounded and together will be full. Padding left. Oh, what else? I think it's fine. Okay, just a couple more things that we will have to do. Let's just add the width here 104 and height 104, and almost there. We need to work on this link. We can say background white split by 10. Okay, and now we can say rounded. Flex item center. Item centers get 4. Overflow hidden. Hover, we can say background white 20. We can say transitions all. And as you can see, it started being changed. A couple things I'm gonna add, like this guy. So background white rounded, and then flex item centers get 4 overflow hidden. Overflow hidden. The hover will be background white 20. Transitions. Okay, so now we got the image. Then we got the album. Then we have the description about the button. Flex item center, justify center, padding left 1, rounded 4, margin left auto, margin right 8. I think it's all we need here. But one of the things that I want to do is, let me add just a margin top, maybe 4. Nice. And then let me just add one more thing, maybe padding 2. Okay, nicer. So, but when we hover, it's working as well, and we have a transition. Fantastic. I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. 5 and 10. Let's see. Like it personally, I like it more. Not duplicating a couple of things, let's use a little bit more Elixir and Phoenix 1.7. So 4, we can say to 6. And there you go. As you can see, it started being similar with the Spotify as well. Fantastic. Now we got the menu, we got the transitions as well, we got the hover. And what else that we need to do is we're gonna build one more section using the LiveView. Let me think if I need to change a couple of things. I think that's, let me check the aside. I'm okay with the aside. And we got our first menu. Just one more things that we need to add that's gonna be fantastic. Here's the thing. My tip for you if you're using Phoenix. If you don't understand Tailwind well, you're gonna lose the opportunity to build a fantastic front end, fantastic functionalities, and brings complexity that it's unnecessary. One of them is about this button here. So you got the button. What about if we add a group here? Let's first make this button invisible. the button will disappear, but I want to make a hover. But the hover, I need to make it not when you go over here and hover the button. So if I say here hover visible, as you can see, I can hover here, but I need to hover. Even hover near the button, it doesn't work. But to make that work, what I'm gonna do is group hover, and then I'm gonna say group. And as you can see, when I hover, it's working. What we can do as well is a transition. I'm gonna say all. And now we have something more interesting. I personally like it a lot. What we're gonna do is we have this made for Elixir Pro, but I'm gonna change it and make this section below. You can say good morning, and then we got the menu. We're gonna create something very similar, but one of the things that I'm gonna do is come over here, change to 8.2. The text will be almost the same. Let me see. Okay, but let's change this to made for Elixir Pro. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this guy, but a couple of things will be different, and then we're gonna change it here. So I'm gonna say grid calls 8, gap 4, margin top 4. Fantastic. Our length will be a little bit different, and then we're gonna add like 8. So here's gonna be background 5p3 instead. Rounded, we can say medium, and flex. And the items will not be on the center. We can say flex call and gap 2. I'm gonna get rid of this gap 2. So flex call. Okay, just one more thing. Let's say hover, making ground white 10. The image, we can say 20. And right here we can say class W full. Here we can say it's okay. We're gonna change this. Right here, I'm not gonna add this button, but we're gonna say span, text to small, text zinc 500, and then we can say Lauren 12, because it's gonna be a description about the image. And then this is the next result we have, so which is great. Just one more thing, we're gonna change this to daily. You saw that when you are using the Spotify mix I, and we're gonna change this to I. And there you go. So this is our next result, which is lovely. Next step. So we started having a hover. We started having the menu. We added the transition. Well, just one more thing that I think it's gonna be nicer here. Let's add hover to text zinc 100 and transitions all, like always adding the transition all. Then as you can see, it started make it clear. And what else? So we got our menu. Let's start creating our footer as well. Things that we could do here, we can add like the core menu here or something like that. So what we can do, we can create something similar. In this way, I like just duplicating because it's only the HTML. We can say main, and on our main, we can just rename it to main. We can just ignore it, but I'm gonna leave the HTML here, main.html, HTML. Then we can say main, and then we can just copy the main HTML that we have here, because it's gonna be a component as well. So now what we can do is just duplicate it and say main. In main, well, as you can see, when you learn components in LiveView, you understand how it's straightforward to copy and paste code and make it simpler. So now, when we do it, this is our result. It didn't change, and we have something fantastic, which is great. So just one more thing. In my case, so if your page is finished, I'm gonna say 16 to see how it goes. And as you can see, I started having more menu. I'm not gonna add this. I'm gonna say 8 for now. And then you can create like a list over here. But for me, it's okay now. And what else that we are going to do? Let's work on our footer. So now what we are going to do on our footer will be creating the menu as well. Just one more thing. Let me just commit this main and aside menu. And then let's create our footer. Let me just make one change here and see if that's really necessary. Okay, this was a format. Okay, never mind. So we got our footer here. So now our first step, flex items center get 3. And then what we're gonna do is same way on the same way, we can just copy one image that we have and add in here. The main difference, let's get rid of this and let's make this image smaller, so we can say 56. As you can see, we got an image here. This is gonna be our album. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a flex and flex call, and then a strong font normal. I like Etienne. Perfect. And then so what we are gonna do is span text extra small, text zinc 400, and then we can say add Sheeran. So as you can see, it's nice. So what else? We need to create one more thing. So 2 more things, I mean. So one of them will be our menu. So we can say flex, flex call, items center, where right here we are gonna have another div with flex, item center, gap 3. And on this div, we are gonna have the first interaction menu. So we're gonna have a button, and on this button we are gonna have an icon. Sorry, so I need to copy one icon in some place else, probably here. There you go. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the first icon here. It's gonna be 5, 5, I think. Let's say 5, and then 5. And what else that we are gonna need? One more, 1, 5 times. What is the difference between that, and why I'm not going to duplicate it? So this button on the middle will be our play. And then we can say flex, items, center, justify center, padding left 1, rounded full, background white, text black, margin left auto, margin right 8. And then let's just change to play and say solid, and let's see how it goes. Okay, one more thing, rounded. Okay, great. What else? So we have the song, we have the item center. So one of the things that we will have to add here, or not here, but on our footer. So you got the gap 3, but we need right here the flex, items center, and justify between. It didn't work. Why? Let me see. So we got here. Oh, I didn't close this guy. And then this guy that I'm closing, I'm gonna say another div that we are going to work on sooner. So let me see if that's gonna work. Yeah, it started working. I'm gonna say new menu or something like that. And what else that we will have to do here? So let me just format this code here. And it full margin right. Probably we're not gonna use this guy here. And there you go. I think we are almost there, almost finishing. A couple more updates that we will need to do. So I personally like the color, but I need to change a couple more things. So right here, the icons, as I mentioned, will not be the same. So you can say code bracket, sorry, solid, and then I'm gonna say 8.4 and 8.4. Let me just copy and paste it here, and I think the text here will be text zinc 200. It's a little bit different. 200 here. Right here, the icon will be backward. Okay, same one, but right here. I'm going to say forward, and this one I'm going to say not forward, but we can say error path, and then nice. Things that it's error, my mistake here. So the icons, as I mentioned, is not the same, but because we're using the hero icons, so we don't have a couple things here. What else that we can do here? So let's just add one more menu here. It's gonna be straightforward: flex, items, center, and gap 2. Let's just copy one of the icons that we have. 1, 2, 3, and then we can say play and say circle, and this icon will be adjustments horizontal, and then we can say device on mobile. As you can see, we got 2 icons more here. And then what we can do, just one more thing, flex, items, center, and gap 2. And then we can add another div. And this div, we're gonna make a couple more things, but right here, let's just change this to speaker X mark, and then we can say something right here. It's gonna be a little bit different. Let me think. Just one more icon, and here we're gonna say middle, and here we can say mark wave. As you can see, speaker wave. Oh, let me just get rid of this, and almost there. But right here we're gonna say that we have a class h1 rounded full w24 background zinc 600, and right here we're gonna say class background zinc 200 w10 h1 rounded full. Okay, I made a mistake. Okay, I didn't close the div. And there you go. As you can see, got like a menu where you can do something like increase and decrease the sound. The icons is okay. We have 3, or we have just 2, and device. Okay, let me see. Device on mobile. And there you go. Nice. So one more thing that we need to do is below the icons, let me just add something here, which is going to be like flex on items center gap 3 and then a span where we are going to have class text extra small, text zinc 500, 0, 31, and then let me just copy this guy here because it's going to be similar, but the main difference between them is that this guy is going to be 96, I think. Background zinc is okay, and the W here will be 40, and after that just one more span here. We can say 2, and I think that's it. And there you go. As you can see, we got a clone of our Spotify, also things that you could do. So sometimes you need to think about more the component, but basically what we can say is, let's just copy and paste some of them. Then we can say footer play, and then footer play, hang on, play dot HTML footer play, and then let's just come over here and copy this footer. Let's say it's okay for now, but our footer play, and then we can just add our ID here at ID, and then we can come over to our application and say footer play. Then we can come over here and say footer play. If everything is working, so fantastic. So this is the way that you can clone the Spotify. As you can see, you learned a lot about components, so you can learn more about on Elixir Pro. This was just an example why and how to split components and create an interface using Tailwind and HTML easily. What I highly recommend you is please subscribe on Elixir Pro, and if that's your will, join Elixir Pro to learn more about Elixir Phoenix LiveView. Hope you like it. See you on the next tutorial, and bye bye.